Hi, my name is Aaron and this is my robot Rex, which stands for Robotic Automatic Table Setter. Dad and I were discussing ideas, and one of them was to make a robot set the table, replacing knives and forks, putting out the salt and pepper. And so Rex, the Robotic Automatic Table Setter, was born. This idea had some limitations, as I only had one Lego controlling brick and was limited to 4 motors and 4 sensors. I also needed a way of commanding the robot. I did a whole lot of research determining how to place knives and forks. In the end, I decided that a triangular design conveyor belts, one for knives and one for forks, was the best option. This meant that the robot had to move around using 2 of my motors. The triangular design only required 1 motor, leaving 1 motor replacing the salt and pepper. I decided quickly on the base design. It would use tracks as they were sturdy, allowed easy turning, and moved the robot easily. I used a modified design from the Lego Mindstorms EV3 Discovery book by Lawrence Volk. Now I had to build the conveyor mechanism. This turned out to be very hard, as I couldn't keep it solid with Technic blocks. Eventually I had to ask my dad for help, and together we built the conveyor frame to hold everything together. To place the salt and pepper was not an easy challenge, since I only had 1 motor. I had seen a very clever design that closes drawers and then picks up an object. My research found 3 different designs, but the first 2 weren't strong enough to hold the salt and pepper. The final one, with few changes, worked well and was from a robot gripper in the Lego EV3 Home Edition software. The big problem now was to stop it falling off the table, or RUD, which stands for Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly. I thought about using an ultrasonic sensor to look over the table's edge, but it didn't work as well as I hoped. So I used a touch sensor that when a weight went over the edge of the table, it would press the sensor. To command the robot, I used an infrared sensor, then yet I could use the little remote that came with the EV3 kit. Okay, so this is my program for my robotic automatic table setter, Rats. And the first thing it does is the subroutine, which closes the claw that the salt and pepper are in, so it picks them up. Then it measures the table. So it just keeps on driving forward until the touch sensor is pressed, and then it gets the averages of the C and B motor rotations, and then puts it into this table length variable. And count places variable is 0, and it drives backwards. Then it says number of table settings. Then on the screen it says please press the number of table settings on the remote. And then it waits until a button is pressed on the remote. Okay, moving on to this part of the program. After you've pressed the setting on the remote for how many you want, it goes into the switch block. So if I did 1, that would be for setting for 1. So it would say setting for 1. It would use the table length value to determine how far it needs to go forward, and then it sets the table. It goes forward until the touch sensor is pressed. Then it moves backward just slightly so the knives and forks don't fall off the table. And then it moves the conveyor belt forward just a teensy bit, so the knives and forks, just one of them, fall off the robot onto the table. And then it drives backwards, and then it adds 1 to the count variable. And then it drives backwards to the center of the table using the table length. Okay, moving on now. So now it sets down the salt and pepper. Okay, so here is where it drops down the salt and pepper, and after it drops down the salt and pepper, it drives back from the center of the table back to the starting position. Then it uses the count variable and times it by 0.4 to make the conveyor belt go back to its starting position. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what 3 is, because it's like 2 and 4 place settings. So now it says setting for 3, then it says please press 3 for 3 sides and please press 2 for 2 sides, and then writes it on the screen. Then it waits until a button is pressed. Okay, moving on now. When one of the buttons is pressed, it enters a switch block. So we're going to do 3 for 3 sides. So now it turns 1.5, and then it sets the table, and then it turns back. And then it turns minus 1.5, so that's the other way. And then it goes forward, and then it sets the table, then it drives back to the center of the table. So now it does the same finishing as we showed you before for setting the table for 1. This is a picture of close-up of close mechanism. This is a picture of close-up of the gears that run the conveyor. This picture is close-up of the touch sensor that controls the RUD device. This is a picture of the Lego brick and the infrared.